Hello, welcome. I have a little game for you tonight. For those of you who are still up or watching this later, I have a challenge that I'm going to tell you about in a few minutes. So I want you to stay tuned. But first, I have a question for you. Today is May 4th. How many of you are counting down the days till summer? How many of you are tired of testing? How many of you are tired of the kids wriggling too much? How many of you are searching on Amazon for all the fidgets that you can get so you can get your kids to engage? What are you getting weary about as spring gets moving and you're looking at the calendar towards summer? I'm wondering what it is that is getting you down or discouraged or tired. And then after we talk about that, I will be showing a little game with you, sharing a game with you, a little contest that I think may help kind of address this issue of what can get us down. Okay, so put in the comments what wears you down, what discourages you about this time of year. Do you have 10 days left of school? Do you have 30? Why? How are you feeling? What's tiring about it? Put that in the comments so we can talk about those things that are kind of discouraging for us at this time of the year. All right? And like I said, then after we talk about what's wearing us down, then we'll talk about a little game or contest that might put a little pep in our step. Okay? So if you're just tuning in, we're trying to discuss what it is that gets us down, and I'm going to try to forward this, see if I can, into the group that I also lead called Level Up Your Reader's Achievement, so they can see it. Okay, I think that went. Okay, if you're just tuning in, what I was hoping we could discuss before I share with you a little game is what is tiring you out at this time of year? Today is May 4th. Have you been tested ad nauseum? Are your kids wriggling or far worse than wriggling too much in their seats? What is wearing you down? Go ahead and type that in the comments. Let us know what is hard about this time of year. And maybe you're not even really experiencing it yet yourself, thankfully, but you have experienced it before, or you see other teachers experiencing this. I have been reading about some kindergarten teachers who are not even able to have their kids go out into the hallway to escape to recess because the principal wants it to lock down quiet for all the other kids who are taking tests. I know so that testing phenomenon really can wear you down. Or it's been a long time since spring break. There aren't many days off in sight. And so this stretch I just think is really, really long. And so we can get kind of tired. So I remember when I was a teacher, and even when I was a student, sometimes in May and June, there was a lot less value in each school day. Some teachers would pop in more videos than they might have in September and October. We had a lot of parties, which were fun, but especially that last week, there's very little instruction. Have experienced that, or you are experiencing it right now, share with us what gets you down about this time of the year. One thing that happens to me up here in Wisconsin is that we're finally getting spring. It's been cold and it's been some little more dreary, and now the sun is out, the skies are blue, and I want to get outside, and I bet the kids are feeling the same itch. So that can be another thing that just kind of wears on the efficacy of our school day. So if you pipe in with what's bothering you about this time of year, then we can discuss it. But until I hear some things from you guys, I want to share with you a little challenge, okay? Because I have the good opportunity to be a reading tutor as well as a reading researcher and teacher in the classroom in the past, and a staff developer, I have seen how just a few activities make a huge difference particularly with struggling readers. So I know firsthand from my own experience and watching others that just a few things can really change kids' achievement on a dime super fast. And so I'm going to propose a little game, and I'm going to guide you through how to play this game so that you can see these changes too, and then feel a little bit more encouragement as the clock ticks towards the end of the school year. So if you're just tuning in, pipe in with what bothers you about this time of year. So in a second, I'm going to share with you this little, really it's a full lesson plan. It's 4 weeks of lesson plans, all mapped out, that can help you figure out oops, here we go. There's week 3 and all the way to week 4. Really super simple activities that can really make a difference in your students. Let me just give you a couple of anecdotal stories just that happened in the last 2 or 3 weeks. When I use these type of activities, again, just a few, really the first week I'm only suggesting 2 activities that are super simple to only take about 5 minutes each. When I use these kinds of activities recently, I saw some really astronomical results. For instance, I'm working with a dyslexic high school freshman who has a huge gap between his reading comprehension and reading real words and his ability to really spell the words and read nonsense words and be fluent. So I got a chance to do these very activities with him for 2 hours. And then when I saw this young man on his 3rd hour, he had already gained about 20 words per minute in speed or reading rate since the first time I saw him. All he had done is a couple of activities like switch it and read it and sort it, and those very activities are what I'm going to present to you in this challenge. And some of you may be thinking, well, I don't really want a challenge. I'm kind of tired. And I know how you feel. So I have not created anything that's extra work or that's hard or that's overambitious. It's super simple, step by step. Just drip out little teensy bits of content so you try one super simple thing with your student that you're worried about. The kind of kid that's, or maybe several kids who you're thinking about, they haven't really made a lot of progress and the school year is almost over and you kind of feel like you're giving up on them. And you don't feel good about that, but you also know that you've done all you could. But if you try a few different activities, these are very countercultural. These are not what you see traditionally in mainstream. So these activities, you would start the first day with one activity called Switch It, which only takes a few minutes, and that activity is very powerful. And I give you even the words to use. And each day you add something slightly more. So day 2, actually, you do the same thing. And then day 3, you do the same thing, you add one more thing. So if you're just tuning in, I'm hoping to hear about what is kind of wearing you down at the end of the school year. And I want to propose that if you play this little game with me, you might really shock yourself by how much your struggling readers can improve, how much excitement you'll feel about that improvement, and how much easier it will be to count down to the end of the school year. In fact, you might not so much count down in a like get me out of here way, but you may be counting down in a way, oh, I only have a few more days. How much progress can I make? This is the kind of thing, these activities are the very activities that I use as a reading tutor, and I've seen other teachers use in states like Nebraska, New Mexico, Texas, North Carolina, where I've worked with them teachers before, and these teachers have also seen very significant impacts with just a handful of activities. So I'm sharing with you for free a full 25-day set of lessons. So even if you don't do the whole thing, it's a great free resource that's super easy and just gradually introduces you to a complete system that will boost your struggling readers' decoding, word identification, and fluency. And all along the way, their comprehension will get better as well. So if you're just tuning in, I'm hoping to hear what is wearing you down at this time of year. Has the testing ended? Are your kids itching to get out of school? Are they racing out to recess and doing a pretty trashy job on their work within school? Or are you just kind of exhausted? These are all things that have happened to me, and I've been reading about how they're happening to other teachers, like in other Facebook groups. So I want to help you guys and inspire you and give you something really powerful that will help transform maybe one struggling reader or maybe several struggling readers in your class. So if you go to the post above and snag this free challenge, you'll get a full 4 weeks of plans that are very simple, step by step, and you only learn a teensy bit each day so you don't get overwhelmed. If you're just tuning in, how are you feeling about spring, and are you counting down towards summer? What's it like? And I hope that you will consider joining this challenge. Most people at this time of year are not talking about challenging teachers. It's challenging enough, right? But I want to propose that if you have some new insightful techniques that change the paradigm of what you're doing, you may be shocked by how much some struggling readers in your class can accelerate in their reading. And when I, as a teacher, see my kids making progress day by day or week by week, I've got boundless energy with that. But it's when the kids are not making the progress that I just don't really like so much doing the teaching, right? How many of you have experienced that? You work with a child, you put your all into it, you try this activity, you try that activity, you try this activity, you just kind of go in circles, you ask for help, but the student won't budge, or their gains are so slow, you know they'll never catch up. Well, that is so common. That is why in the US anyway, we have about 65% of our kids who are behind grade level. A lot of the techniques we're using that we're being told are effective are maybe good, but they're not great. They're not super effective for anyone. And given that kids have so many things that's going on with them in their home lives, challenges with their family, economic challenges, the distraction of social media or technology, teaching is a really hard job today. And so if you can find an activity or a couple activities that will do multiple sub-skills in reading all simultaneously and show you how kids can move up, 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 up each day, it would be very different than what you are accustomed to if you feel like your kids just aren't budging. So this is the same setup that I use, especially by the time you get to week 2. Each lesson plan gives you words and free texts, several free texts, and some free worksheets where you could just put it into play with very little effort on your part, because that is here at Reading Simplified, that's what we're all about. We're about streamlining the reading instruction for the classroom teacher and accelerating the students' reading achievement. So if you're just tuning in, we're trying to come up with a solution for that slinking into summer vacation feeling that we sometimes get. Instead of being discouraged by this time of year, or instead of counting down the days, I propose we play a little game that if you try just about 5 minutes of new activities each day and build upon them each day with something small that's new that is proven to make a big difference, maybe you won't be desperate to escape into summer, but you'll be excited by what you're seeing happening with your struggling readers. So I have a post up above that you can go to where you can download this free challenge, Spring Forward Challenge Packet. That's what I'm calling it, Spring Forward. Let's not just slink into summer. Let's not count down the days, but let's just use the last few days and weeks that we have and really surprise ourselves by accelerating particularly our struggling readers. So all I'm suggesting that you do is download this packet and then try the activities drip by drip, day by day, these simple small steps with at least one struggling reader. And at the end of your school year, post in the comments in the post above how your student has been transformed based on these activities. And I'm going to pick some winners. So that's another element that's going to help you kind of get a little excited. So there is some game element to this too, okay? Not only am I giving you some free, easy teachings and free materials, but I'm also going to offer you a contest, okay? So the first prize winner will get 3 free months to the Reading Simplified Academy, which is our membership that teaches the entire Reading Simplified system, which is all you need to teach a beginning reader or a struggling reader. It's super easy to go through, and it has over several hundred of differentiated materials and passages for K through 6th grade readers. In addition, inside the Reading Simplified Academy, I'm there every weekday answering questions. So I am like on-demand support for you on any kind of problem you have in literacy. How many times do we get that kind of thing? Right now that's priced at about $140 for those 3 months. So that is going to be the first prize winner. Okay, second prize winner will be 5 sorted packets. So the sorted packets are a pivotal part of the Reading Simplified system that teaches advanced phonics like long vowels and all those tricky vowel combinations in a super streamlined way. And those materials are only available inside the Reading Simplified Academy, but for our second place winner, I'll be giving 5 packets away, which is over 50 pages of materials. And you can pick the level that you want, whether you want kindergarten reading level or 1st grade or on up to 5th or 6th grade level. And then anyone who participates will get an additional sorted packet for the E sound. In this challenge, when we get to that point in the challenge, everybody will be given a free sorted packet for the O sound. But if you comment in the blog post that's linked above about how this challenge impacted you or your student, then you will also receive that sorted E sound packet. So anyone who comments on the blog will be a winner. So I'm hoping that this little challenge will be easy for you, but also a little pep to your step. You'll be having the opportunity to try something new in super small doses. I'll be sharing ideas on Facebook Live really briefly. I'll also be sharing the same ideas via email. So whichever way is best for you, you can grab an idea here or there, and there'll probably just be 1 or 2 ideas a week. Super little bite-sized ideas that correspond to the free challenge packet. And each activity that I suggest, I link to all the free materials that you might want to use. That's in the last page. Okay, so let me show you that. So these, there we go. You can see this is going to be the links to each of the activities, and that's all there is. For 25 days, you only are going to learn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different quick activities. They're going to be very similar to what you did, probably are already familiar with, but there's some tweaks that make all the difference. So if you're feeling a little like you can't wait for summer, or you're just feeling discouraged because some of your readers aren't moving, then I really encourage you to give this a shot. You don't have anything to lose. And if you participate by commenting in the blog post above, you'll get even more free materials that you could use this year or in the future. Okay, so in this Spring Forward Challenge, we're going to have basically everyone who participates will be a winner. But our first prize winner will get a free 3-month membership to the Reading Simplified Academy. And that will be all they need to learn how to teach everyone to read, and several hundreds pages of free materials for students. So that's the first prize winner. Second prize winner, again, is going to receive 5 sorted packets, like for the O sound, the E sound, the A sound, the sound, etc. And that's going to be more than 50 pages of materials, and you can tell me which level you want, whether it's kindergarten or 3rd grade or whatever. And then again, anyone who just makes some comments about how they've seen these activities in this challenge change their readers before school is out, anyone will get an additional bonus sorted packet. 8 to 10 pages of sorted word lists with a key sentence and several E sound passages that really help tie in this knowledge, this advanced phonics knowledge. So if you're just tuning in, we're just talking about how sometimes we just count down till the end of the school year, and we don't really have as great of enthusiasm for this time of year. And maybe if we joined a little club like this and played a little game and had the opportunity to win prizes, maybe we'd have something more to look forward to. Instead of counting down desperately how many days you have till school is out, maybe it would be super fun to see how much one little activity a day, taking 5 minutes, maybe then the next day 10 minutes, can change a struggling reader's life, or change a whole small group of struggling readers' life. When I, as a reading teacher, see my kids make leaps forward, I have boundless energy. I am not discouraged. Even when I'm tired, I will still be enthusiastic. I'm hopeful. I'm seeing the progress. And I get to do that all the time because I know these few activities that do so many powerful things that teach the foundation of reading to beginners or strugglers, and they rapidly get to grade level in their decoding, their word identification, and their reading rate. Typically, when I work with students using these activities that I'm going to teach you in this free Spring Forward challenge, I see students get to grade level in about 12 hours of instruction. And even in lesson 6, I see definitely a year's worth of growth. I'm sorry, half a year's worth of growth. So just 6 hours of instruction can make a half a year's worth of growth, kind of regularly. Some kids it makes more, some kids slightly less. But these are the kids that I see invariably are struggling, and they're the ones that have not gotten what they needed from the regular classroom literacy program. And so they aren't the easy cases. But these activities work for them, whether they're in kindergarten, whether they're 4 years old, or whether they're 14. It's really kind of mind-boggling, but I see this over and over again, that the same core sets of materials, which I'm presenting to you in this free challenge, which you can get at the blog post above, they work for all these different ages, and they work really fast. A lot of reading programs for students who are struggling suggest that it would take your average struggling reader 2 years or 3 years to get to grade level. And that's with intense instruction. Reading researchers have done many different kind of studies with students that have been identified as dyslexic or struggling or have learning disabilities. And they found that using these typical traditional intervention programs, that it takes about 70 hours of instruction or more to get the students to grade level. And many of you probably have seen that kind of outcomes. Like, you have a struggling reader, you have 25 other kids in your class, and you don't have 70 hours to give to that one child. You want to see more progress in less time. And these activities, because they combine so many things simultaneously, and because they make sound and symbol very explicit, they do work much faster than traditional reading programs, than traditional intervention programs. Like I said earlier, I typically see kids get to grade level in 12 hours of instruction. 12 versus, 70 in the reading research. So if you're just popping in, I was hoping to hear from you about what's discouraging to you about this time of year. Are you counting down the days? Are the kids too fidgety? How are you feeling about being in May now, and maybe you only have 10 days left of school, or 15 or 30? How many days left do you have? And you're probably thinking, well, I've got this kid and I've got that kid, or maybe a whole slew of kids that they're just not going to make the gains that they should for this year. And you may be discouraged. You may have kind of given up on them. But if you were to play this little game with me, where I'll be walking alongside you with Facebook Lives and emails, just little bite-sized amounts here and there, and you try activities that are different from what you've done before, maybe you'll see some progress. In fact, I could almost guarantee it. I don't know exactly what's going on with you and your situation, but these activities always make fast change. Now, if a kid has a profound auditory processing or phonemic processing or phonemic awareness difficulty and a profound visual processing difficulty, they will probably not get to grade level in 6 hours or 12 hours, but they will still move with these activities faster than anything else I've ever tried. And I've tried pretty much everything that's out there. I have been on this mission to figure out how to streamline the teaching of reading for really over 20 years. And I've tried everything. I even went to grad school and got a doctorate because I was so passionate about this question. How can we teach reading? How can we make it easier? And shouldn't everybody be able to read pretty easily? And I found actually that you can make it simple and streamlined. Now, some kids will take a little more effort, no doubt, but everyone can learn to read quickly in terms of 12 hours or 24 hours, or for the toughest cases, maybe 36 hours. We're not talking 2 years, 3 years, or 70 hours or 120 hours. I just don't see that happening. And so I propose to you, how many days left do you have, you guys? We have about 30 or 4 full weeks of school in my district. And maybe you only have 7 or 12, but you can still see some significant progress, and it'll be so exciting for you when your students get moving up that achievement ladder, and you may win something. Okay, so I'm sharing this freebie with you guys. If you go to the blog post above, you can download this Spring Forward Challenge, which is really a step-by-step introduction to a couple of activities that I use all the time that make a huge difference. Deborah, okay, you say you've got 33, so that's a pretty precise number. You may be counting down, right? You know exactly. Thanks for sharing, Deborah. So this Spring Forward Challenge will give you the I'll be basically offering you some free professional learning over the next 25 days that's the best of what I use to get my kids to be high achieving readers in as little time as possible. But I know you're busy, and as I started out at the beginning saying, it's or instead of doing something more, what I'm proposing is something different and incremental changes that you will very quickly see the results. So when you see the results with your student, you get a little kickback of endorphins, and it is exciting. And then so you have something to look forward to. That's how I experience these activities when I work with students. I know they're going to work. I see them work really quickly, and so when the kid comes back, I'm excited to work with them, even on a day when I don't, I'm tired and I didn't get enough sleep, or their behavior is wearing me down. So I hope that you will consider trying this challenge with me. I'm going to be walking with you in these Facebook Lives and also some emails, just little bite-sized nuggets, gradually dripping out a little bit of info each day. And when you're done in the last week, I'll show you what it looks like. You're not doing that much. Like on Friday of the last week, week 4, you would be doing rereading for fluency of a O sound text. You would be doing switch it, which is a word work activity, and here's the list. You would try the sorted activity, which is a way to learn the O sound or any advanced phonics knowledge. And you would be reading another O sound text. Again, that's free. Most of the things that are included here are either words that are provided within the packet or links to free books or texts, or you can use those that you have in the classroom. But this is a guide. It's like a whole lesson plan for the month, all bundled. And even if you don't want to participate and track with us, you could still take this and have 4 weeks of lesson plans for guided reading for kids who are at the kindergarten level, all in one. And if your kids are a little higher, say you're a second grade teacher, but you still have struggling readers, you can use this very same format and just change the words and some of the text a little bit. For instance, probably what I would, and I'll be telling you this information in the Facebook Lives and at the first grade. If you were a second grade teacher and your kids were reading maybe at the first grade level, I would have you skip the first 2 weeks and then go to week 3, pick up there, and you would do week 4 very similar the next week. Maybe if you were in your 3rd week, you could repeat week 4, but just choose a different sound. And I'd guide you through all that. So Diane, oh, I'm so glad to hear from you. Yes, you have a 10-year-old homeschooler. Oh my goodness. So Diane just assessed someone and he's 10, but he's reading at the 1st grade reading level. So you have a great candidate there for this challenge. Reading for the student who's at the 1st grade reading level, Diane, you would probably just jump straight into week 3, and then when you got to week 4, you would repeat week 4, but just change out the words. I'm sorry, the target sound. So for week 4, we're focused on the O sound and all its spellings, like O as in go, O as in show, O as in boat, O as in Joe, and O as in note. We're focused on that O sound all week. So Diane could repeat the next week, which would be her week, look like week 5, but really it'd only be her 3rd week. She could repeat the very same layout, the very same lesson plan, but she would choose the next sound, which would be the E sound. Okay, so we've got, oh, Deborah, I'm sorry about the broadcast. Yeah, I'm not getting a good signal. I apologize about that. If you have some questions about how this contest is going to work, or what your next steps are, go ahead and put them in the comments, either in this Facebook Live, and I'll get to them later, or in the post above. Remember, anyone who gets this packet in the post above and comments about their experience trying the Spring Forward Challenge in any way, even if you do just 2 days, you are still participating, and you will win the free bonus of a 8 to 10 page sorted packet of the E sound. So with this challenge, you'll have access to the O sound sorted packet, which is great for teaching long O spellings. You'll have access to the E sound packet too if you participate by writing into the comments. So everyone is a winner, but one person will get free access to the Reading Simplified Academy for 3 months, a 3-month membership, which is at least $140 value. And then a second place winner will win 5 different sorted packets, which is over 50 pages of materials, and you could pick the reading level that suits you best. So the odds are pretty good that you guys will win, and at least one of those big prizes. And then of course everybody's going to win if they participate by putting in their comments in the comment section of the blog post above. So Alexis, glad to see you here. Woohoo, yeah, everybody's a winner. That's great. How are you guys feeling now at this point in the school year? Whether you're tutoring, whether you're a homeschooling parent, or you are in the classroom in our schools, pretty much everybody is feeling some spring fever. What's it like? How many days left? Okay, the blog post is in the Alexis is in the post above. If you look above this video, I believe, or perhaps to the side, there should be a link for how to get the freebie. Okay, and Lisa says, hi, I'm glad you're here. Okay, so end of year text leveling. Alexis, is that what's getting you down, or is that what you're going to do to show the impact of this? Let me know what you meant by that. Oh, okay, Alexis has 15 more days. Okay, so you can do 3 full weeks of this challenge, and you can get a lot done. And so when I make the decision about who's going to win, I will be taking into consideration how many days you are doing, you had. If school ends and you only had 15 days, that will be taken into consideration. So basically, we're going to see who has the most dramatic change based on their particular context. So we'll be taking into account things like if the student has autism and the teacher had 7 days versus a student who is typically developing and the teacher had 30 days, all those kinds of variables will help make the decision about who wins. And also maybe someone who writes with a lot of enthusiasm will probably have a good chance. So let's see, what other comments do we have? Just checking. They kind of scroll by. All right, so if you're just tuning in, we're talking about how school can sometimes be very ineffective at this time of year, and how, as teachers, we don't want that, but nevertheless, we're worn down. So what can we do about it? Well, instead of proposing a lot of shortcut activities for you in terms of TV or games, I'm just proposing a little challenge between us as this internet community. And I'm also proposing that if you try this progression of activities that I have shown over and over again to be very significant for kids, particularly struggling readers, that you might just get a little bit more bounce in your step. You might be excited to go to the very last day of school because you know that each day your kid's moving forward. So I will be here in Facebook Lives, and I'll also be coming into you via email if you want to get this packet. So you can get tips and you can get answers to your problems when you hit a snag. And if you join in the contest and play this little game with us, trying a few activities and following the completely written out lesson plan, you may have a chance to win the competition. And everyone who participates will be getting a freebie. So let me know if you guys have any questions. What's going on? Okay, Alexis is working with her son who is going to first grade. Verified in reading. Okay, tell me what you mean by that. He's going verified into reading. You mean that he's gotten documented as being a first grade level reader, or is there something else there? I'm not sure. Any other comments about the contest or what's getting you down about this time of year? And are the kids a little squirrely? Does it seem like every day is a full moon? Okay, so he has the special education situation. Okay, that's a great thing to be including Alexis in your final write-up. If you write about how you try this activity for 15 days with your student, with your child, and you put in what his special education needs are, then that helps me make a decision about what's the most significant growth. Okay, any other comments, you guys, about what's getting you down or what's hard about this time of year? Or questions about the Spring Forward Challenge? I'm proposing that you don't have to just slink into summer desperate for it all to end, but that you could actually have some optimism about tomorrow and the next day, because you are seeing progress with those kids who you just weren't seeing progress with before. Okay, Lisa's got very energetic kids, I know. Yeah, with the sun coming out and it's warm and there's been a lot of sitting. Even when we try to get them up and we go noodle them, we just don't really have the culture for a lot of movement in our schools. Oh, Alexis, how sweet. Thanks for saying that. Thank you. I love you always participating. So it's mutual. So if you haven't, if you're just tuning in, I'm losing my voice, so I'm gonna have to go soon. I don't have a lot of experience talking this loudly. I've not been in the classroom for a while, you can see, because you guys would probably be so much better at this. if you just tuned in, I'm offering this Spring Forward Challenge. It's a 25-day lesson plan of just a few incremental changes to your instruction that are bound to make differences for your struggling readers. And so when you try this, not only will you see your struggling readers get better, you may also win some pretty significant prizes. So our first prize winner will get 3 free months to the Reading Simplified Academy, which is really a complete course and a ton of materials for how to teach anyone to read, whether they're beginner or struggler. It's the best of my best on how to teach these handful of activities that make up the Reading Simplified streamlined system. So that's our first place winner. Our second place winner will get 5 sorted packets, and sorted is one of the key activities I use to teach advanced phonics to kids, again, whether they're 5 or 15. I use the same activity, just change the level of the words. So you'll get those for free, and you can just tell me which reading level you would like for that. And then everyone who writes comments in about their experience participating in the Spring Forward Challenge will get a free sorted packet of the E sound. So there's a lot of freebies coming out at you. I haven't even mentioned all of them, but as we get to each new day, there will be more freebies coming. And so by week 4, probably one of the most valuable freebies is that sorted packet that I will be giving you in week 4, and that's for the O sound. So you're already going to get that if you participate and you get this packet. You'll be on an email list to get these free emails and this free information. And then also, like I said, if you just comment in the post above with your experience after doing this at the end of the school year, you will get a bonus sorted E sound packet. Okay, Virginia, you say it says sounds good. Thanks. Well, I'm glad you're interested. Very good. Well, like I said, my voice is about to crack, so I think I'm going to sign off. Thank you guys for participating. I'm really excited to see what you're able to accomplish. These activities, again, they're so powerful, and if you get stuck, I will be here in Facebook Lives and also via email. So don't be a stranger and give these a good chance. Only a few minutes a day, and you'll see some big changes. So Diane said, should you be using Switch It with your first grade student who is solid with short vowels? Okay. Switch It has 2 main goals, and so you're right that learning the short vowels is a huge part of it. But the other one that I'm finding now more and more since I last got to work with you, or Diane and I are friends, that there's so much power in the Switch It abilities to develop the phonemic manipulation. And phonemic manipulation is the ability to manipulate sounds and words. So if you and I come to the word Dostoevsky, it's Russian, we may not recognize it when we see it. It's got all these different kinds of letters. We may go Dostoevsky or Dostoevsky. We just take out sounds and plug in new sounds. That skill is really phonemic manipulation, and it is the hallmark of good word attack. The ability to attack an unknown word and figure it out based on sounds and words that you've heard before. So a kid like you're talking about, can he get to a nonsense word like splist and change it to splint, or then change it to splunt and change it to sprunt, and so on and so forth. Lisa, I'm glad you were here. Thanks for being here. So Diane, thanks Alexis. Yeah. It'll come back with some water. I should have had water ready. So Diane, yes, I do think it's most likely that you should stick with the Switch It, but this list may be too simplistic, so you might just need to add some challenge. Increase it to adjacent consonants on either end of the word, like CCVCC, or the hardest level, CCCVCC, like, I can't think of one. Stump is a CCVCC word, but that kind of level. And then if they can do that with real words, Then I move to nonsense words because then I can quickly make changes and make splist into splint, and of course splint is a real word, splist into splust, and splust into sprust. That's what I'm doing right now with my 9th grade dyslexic student. And within 1 hour, he learned the short vowels a lot better. And by the 2nd hour, he had them solid. And his ability to pull sounds in and out of words was much stronger. So he had developed that flex-it strategy. That is key for reading multisyllable words because the vowels are squirrely in multisyllable words. You have to be able to play with sounds. And so that's why Switch It is really the most valuable. At the beginning level, it's valuable because it's the fastest way to teach letter sounds. But later on, it becomes invaluable for developing the mental flexibility to play with sounds and words. So I do recommend you keep doing Switch It until he can do it almost as fast as you can. For instance, let me give you, okay, what would you change? Okay, I've got sprust. Okay, which one do I put down? Which finger do I put down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To change sprust to splust. Sprust to splust. If you can do that quickly, you've got good phonemic manipulation. You can flex vowel sounds. And who knows what the answer is? Okay, Alexis is saying that the long vowels are still a struggle. Okay, you're right, Alexis, right. This finger. Sprust to splust. A kid who is a good reader can do that almost like this, and they are probably going to be good spellers. But a kid who needs to take a long time or think about it or write it down or can't even do it, they're not well prepared for reading harder and harder words. So that is kind of a long-winded way of saying, yes, keep doing Switch It and increase the level of difficulty. So Alexis, I hope you can try the sorted activity, really in combination with Switch It and Sort It. With Switch It, Sort It addresses that issue really, really quickly. After I introduce the O sound, the E sound, the A sound, and the I sound, then I introduce the concept of the vowel plus E because they've seen or what some people call the silent E or the magic E, they've seen that pattern enough. And so they might change, with a card, crib to cribe. Of course, that's not a real word. Let's do a real, let's think, not to note. And they get practice with that pattern. But mainly there's a two-pronged reason that it works. Number one, Switch It gets the sound symbol correspondence really strong and everything lined up. So they're seeing and hearing each individual sound really tightly, and they don't have confusion. Like they don't see F and say full, or they don't look at PR and say pa. Everything is alignment. Pa, I, they get everything all lined up, it matching ear to sound to eye. So that's the foundation for making them able to learn the advanced phonics. And then Sort It because of its sorting, because of its writing and saying, because of the key sentence mnemonic. For instance, with the O sound, it's go home to show the boat to Joe. That key sentence is always helpful for me and my struggling readers or beginning readers because it tells them really quickly what they need to be able to remember those key spellings. Okay, good, Diane. Yeah. So, Alexis, if you haven't tried Sort It before, then I think this plan may be really exciting. And if you have tried it, let me know where you're hitting snags and make sure you're doing that Switch It as the foundation for it. And you're moving them really high in their phonemic challenge to make it as hard as they possibly can get so that they have really strong sound symbol processing that gives them the necessary foundation for memorizing advanced phonics knowledge. All right, don't forget, go grab this freebie and I will be in touch, and I look forward to seeing who's going to be the winner.